Hey, what's up, guys? It's Progressive Transformation here, and today we're going to talk about one of the best compound exercises to incorporate in your routine, the deadlift. When performing a deadlift, you are going to be stimulating your posterior chain. The posterior chain refers to all the muscles on the back side of your body, from the back of your head all the way to your heels. Getting some scientific studies about the deadlift, we came across this, and I quote, "Analysis of powerlifting and Olympic weightlifting records reveal that trained individuals lift heavier loads in the deadlift compared with other traditional free weight exercises." Also, another research also indicates that, and I quote, 10 weeks of barbell deadlift training resulted in enhanced explosive strength characteristics for the knee extensor and flexor muscle groups. Furthermore, the changes in explosive strength induced by training were related to increased vertical jump height. From this, we can see that the deadlift is an awesome exercise to incorporate in your workouts from a strength and athleticism perspective. However, despite looking like an easy to perform exercise, it really isn't as simple as you would guess. I can testify to that since I got injured almost 2 weeks ago doing a poorly executed deadlift. Chances are that if you are like I was, you weren't properly informed on what to do in order to properly perform this exercise and minimize the risk of injury. So today I'm going to talk to you guys about everything that I learned in order to perform a correct deadlift with no injuries. Because trust me, lower back injuries are no fun, since you will look like a granny while walking, and worst of all, you will also feel like one. For example, if you cannot spot any mistakes on this next clip I'm going to show you, you are probably doing the exercise not in its most optimal form. Let's get right into it then. First of all, let's talk about hip positioning. One of the most common mistakes people do while performing a deadlift is transforming it into a squat. This is done by positioning your hips too low and maintaining a back that is too upright. This is problematic because you are squatting the weight, your body is placed further behind the bar, creating unfavorable leverages, which in turn causes more stress in the lower back. This is how I got injured, by the way, if you guys wanted to know. And if possible injury is not detriment enough to stop squatting the weight, it also decreases the amount of weight you can lift. So yeah, it decreases your ego lift, so don't do it, bros. In order to correct this, you need to make sure that your hips are in the right position. To do this, just focus on the following. While keeping your chest up and back straight, ensure that your hips are positioned between the level of your head and your knees, as opposed to positioning the hips low, aka squatting the deadlift, or too high. The exact angle will vary according to your anatomy, mostly the leg and torso height ratio. Also, make sure that the bar is directly under your scapula. If your hips are too low, the bar will be positioned in front of the scapula, which is a surefire way to see that you need to readjust your hip positioning. Okay, next thing you need to keep in mind is that you need to maintain a straight bar path, such that the final position of the bar should be directly over where it was on the floor. However, a common mistake people make is having the bar start too far in front, or just letting the bar drift away and not keeping it close to the shins when starting the deadlift. In order to correct this, you want to place your feet 1 inch away from your shin. You can easily measure this by placing your feet under the bar, and if you can see your shoelaces on the other side of the bar, you are set and ready to go. Also, keep in mind that while bringing the weight up, you need to keep it as close to your shin and hips as much as you can in order to assure a straight line trajectory for the movement. This is to have the bar take the shortest possible path in order to increase the exercise's efficiency. To most effectively do this, you need to engage your lats. While getting ready to do and actually performing the exercise, in order to get a feel for your lats activating, try to think of the feeling you get while doing a lats pull down. You can also just do the movement while starting the deadlift, and then get your hands on the bar and keep the tension you generated on the lats. We already covered some good points to take this in consideration before, but we are really only starting. Another thing that you need to keep in mind while doing the deadlift is that you cannot round your back while performing the deadlift. And this is one of, if not the most common mistake people do in the execution of this exercise. If you are struggling with maintaining your back straight, you are sure you are not using too much weight first. First of all, you need to think about the mechanics of the deadlift. In the first 1/3 of the movement, you should think of it like a leg press, because the mechanics are exactly the same. While holding the barbell, you just need to think of pushing the floor away from you. Then, when the bar reaches your knees, the 2/3 of the movement are done by hip extension, where you just need to bring your hips forward. In order to do this, one thing to keep in mind is that a rounded deadlift is... In addition to this, one thing you need to keep in mind is that a rounded deadlift is often a compensation for weak hips. Because if you have a rounded back while doing the deadlifts, the hips are actually closer to the bar, making it easier on the hips to complete the movement. In order to remedy this, you should then focus on executing some exercises in complement to the deadlift in order to strengthen the hips. One that is very good at achieving this is the barbell hip thrust. And it is an awesome exercise in on of itself, so including it in your workouts will only do you good, trust me. Another thing that you need to keep in mind while performing the deadlift movement is that you should not overextend the lockout. The deadlift should be finished with solid hip extension. A good cue for this is that when you bring your hips forward, you should also flex your glutes and feel them activate. The hip extension should stop where the bar is though. What some people do however, is that they continue the hip extension, basically performing a hyperextension of the lower back. This is unnecessary and causes a lot of stress in your lower back. And as all of you should know by now, placing stress in your lower back while performing the deadlift is almost as a good idea as going for a plasma TV shopping on a Black Friday. Yeah, don't do it. To some, this can be done because of error on your technique and can be fixed by just looking out for it. But for others, it's a result of an anterior pelvic tilt, or just not knowing how to flex them glutes, you know. For this problem though, I have no video up, but you can check an awesome video done by Jeremy Hetiers, that it's titled Fix Anterior Pelvic Tilt in 10 minutes daily exercise routines. Lastly, the last commandment of the holy deadlift is that you should not jerk the weight off the floor. Another really common mistake people make while performing the deadlift is they simply jerk the weight off the floor from a relaxed position instead of first engaging the muscles before the lift, which as a result often leads to back discomfort and or pain and makes your lower back more likely to round as you lift the weight. In order to fix this, the last thing you should do before pulling the weight is getting your chest up while slightly pulling on the bar. in order to get it to bend just a little bit on the middle, and you can start feeling the weights on your arms. Also, I said the last one was the last, but I just need a little quick thing. Don't keep your head facing forwards. You need to maintain a neutral spine. Keep your head aligned with your back. Anytime you are performing exercises that engage your lower back, you want to maintain a neutral spine to prevent excessive stress on the interlocking vertebrae that make up the spinal column. So yeah guys, this was my video on what I learned about the deadlift since I was injured. And believe me, nothing motivates you more to learn how to correctly perform an exercise than injuring yourself while doing it before. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed doing it. And peace out guys, have a nice weekend.